Hello everybody and welcome to my Afterthoughts video regarding the movie Edge of Tomorrow. Wow, man, that was a fun movie. I mean, so entertaining, so much fun to watch. I loved the concept. It was really awesome and I loved the writing. Now, why do I say writing? Well, a lot of reasons. First of all, I really liked how they established the two main characters. I loved Emily Blunt as Rita Vrataski, you know, this seasoned warrior. That was awesome. And then what I really liked, how they established Cage. You know, he wasn't this elite fighter, seasoned fighter already. He was actually a person who wasn't really a soldier and was even kind of afraid of combat, you know. And that was awesome because it would have been so easy, you know, for other screenwriters to establish him as this elite fighter with a lot of experience and then put it in this extraordinary situation. But no, I think it was so much more, so much cleverer to have him be this fish out of water concept character, you know. So that was great because it's so much more fun for us to relate to and so much more fun to see him grow and get better and better and better, and therefore the character arc is much bigger. So that was great. Also, I liked the dialogue. The dialogue was very tight, very crisp. I mean, almost every word that was spoken had an intention and had a reason behind it, which made it very tough for editing because I couldn't really cut out a lot of dialogue. And that's an indication of good writing if the script is tight. So that was awesome. And there were some clever lines too, and especially some lines that only in retrospect you can really appreciate how brilliant the lines were. For example, this Sergeant Farrell, the day before Cage, which is Tom Cruise's character, before he goes into battle, he actually says, "Tomorrow you'll be baptized, reborn."
Tomorrow morning you will be baptized, born again.
And now in retrospect, that was so true, you know, think about it. I mean, he got baptized by the blood of this alpha alien, and he was most certainly reborn as a new person with the ability to reset time. So that was awesome. I really appreciated those lines when I did the editing. I realized, oh wow, there is so much truth in this one line that one doesn't really know if you watch it the first time. So that was great. And then I also thought they did a fantastic job explaining the concept throughout the movie, because it's not easy to explain a complex concept in a movie, you know, because you just have talking heads and then it gets complicated and confusing. But they did a great job with this little holographic diagram they had, and they explained the concept, I think, as good as it was possible. So great job on that too. And I liked how they mixed all those genres together. I mean, we saw an action movie, we saw an action adventure movie, there was drama, there was comedy, it was a sci-fi, and there was even a love story. So they put all those elements into the movie, and I think that's why it was so much fun. Of course, the concept was the most brilliant thing of this all, but it was great. Also, I really liked how they kept raising the stakes throughout the movie. I mean, the stakes just went up and up and up all the way to the end when Cage lost his ability to reset time, and therefore now he couldn't die anymore, but he still had to save the world. So, I mean, the stakes couldn't be any higher. You die, the world dies. So that was very nice writing again. And then another thing I had to look up, because I was wondering how many times did Cage reset the day? And I learned that throughout the movie, he resets the day 26 times. But of course, it is indicated throughout the movie that he probably reset it hundreds of times, just like Rita did when she saw her, I don't know if it was her man or her friend or whatever, die 300 times, you know, so there was a lot of resetting going on. And then one more thing, I was surprised to read that the kiss that happens in the end between Rita and Cage was actually improved by Emily Blunt. And that surprised me, because those are, if the characters kiss or don't kiss, that's a big deal. You know, if you write a script, you put a lot of thought in it. And she just decided that, because she said later on, it just felt right. She had that impulse and then kissed him and then ran off. And I thought her impulses were 100% correct. I thought it was a great moment. It was very satisfying for the audience to see that she once let her guards down, just for 2 seconds, you know, and she kissed him. And it also deepened the love story. And it was a very nice moment. And apparently Tom Cruise was quite surprised, because he didn't really see that coming. But of course, the pro he is, he just went along with it, and it worked out great. And I'm glad they left that in, because it added to the whole movie. So that was fantastic. And now the ending. Gotta say something about the ending, because I was a little bit confused at first, because I wasn't quite sure if it makes sense. Like, why did he wake up in the helicopter? Why didn't he wake up back there at the military base? And I put a lot of thought in it, tried to think it through. And I knew that the first time when Cage wakes up at the military base after being arrested and brought there, he wakes up at the military base, and that's pretty much when his day starts. It's morning, and then he gets introduced to the chase squad, and they have some PT. And then the next morning they prepare for war, and Cage is being dropped onto the battlefield, where he dies together with an alpha. And of course the blood gets mixed, and therefore he now has the ability to reset the day, and boom, it goes 24 hours back. And that's why he wakes up at the military base. And that's the point where he always goes back. Okay, that makes sense, you know. No matter how short his day was or long, he always goes back to that moment where he wakes up at the military base. And then I realized that later on in the movie, when he goes together with Rita to see General Brigham, you know, to get that transponder device, he goes there, and that's important, he goes there before the invasion happens the next morning. That's very crucial. So he goes there, he gets that transponder, they run off being chased, and while they're being chased, he sticks it in his legs. He has the vision, but later gets caught. They very violently stop the car. He gets also shot, and then he wakes up at a hospital getting a blood transfusion, and that's when he lost the power. And we have to remember that is all still happening before the invasion the next morning. So Rita and Cage flee from the hospital. They recruit the chase squad, go to Paris, and kill the Omega, still before the invasion that happens the next morning. And while Cage kills the Omega, the blood gets mixed again, and he resets the day, and now it goes 24 hours even further back. And that's why he wakes up in a helicopter. And when I figured that out, I said, okay, I think that all makes sense. I mean, of course, I don't know if he would take a time sheet and calculate everything to the hour. I don't know if it makes sense, but that doesn't matter, because it was enough for me to realize, yes, the concept somewhat makes sense. I was completely satisfied. I loved the story. I loved the ending. Definitely a movie you can watch again. So that was fantastic. I'm happy how the video turned out. It actually took me over 40 hours to put this video together, and that includes, like 2-hour filming, and then about 35 hours editing, and then exporting and uploading, and go through this whole copyright process. So you have to go back and re-edit, so a few hours more there. And then of course I have to do the afterthought video right now, and then create the thumbnails. That takes a while, and then ultimately upload everything on different platforms. Yeah, so it took over 40 hours to make that video, but like I said, I'm happy how it turned out, and I really hope that you guys love it too. All right, I see you in the next one. Bye bye.